spoke to Sam Bankman-Fried here in Nassau on Friday, and despite being ousted from FTX in the company's bankruptcy, he says he's still spending most of his time still trying to broker a bailout. He declined to talk about some of the financial details around the fall of FTX, what we all really want to know, and he did decline an on-camera interview or a longer talk on the record. He is hunkered down here, though, in an upscale Bahamas neighborhood, and he told me there are billions of dollars of potential funding out there to make customers whole, as he put it. We also talked about getting as much value to users. He said he hates what happened, and he wishes he had been more careful. He also maintains that there are billions of dollars in customer assets available, despite not having access to his corporate email or any of the FTX systems right now. Guys, this is, of course, a long shot, and legal experts tell me an SBF deal, Sam Bankman-Fried deal, would be no different than any other third-party bidder at this point. But legal experts also tell me that him being part of the solution may actually help in a criminal or civil court. No response from him on that. FTX's new CEO, John Ray, over the weekend, saying that he is also exploring sale options for FTX.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
Without proper oversight, cryptocurrencies, it risks harming everyday Americans. So this is something that clearly we monitor and that we see as an important issue. But the most recent news further underscores these concerns and highlights why prudent regulation of cryptocurrencies is indeed needed. The White House, along with the relevant agencies, will again closely monitor the situation as it develops.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And we have CNBC, Kate Roney says that she has spoke with Sam Bankman-Fried. And guys, we know helicopters should be all over his place, reporters all over the place, but we don't see anything. This is nothing but a movie. And we have Sam is still working on a bailout deal. And after this FTX collapse, we see the White House calling for regulation. And we know what type of regulation they want. They want the regulation for the central banks. So therefore, they can sneak in their stable coins and their CBDCs. This regulation will give the entry point for these big banks. And a lot of people saying that this FTX collapse, the crypto collapse, is bleeding over into the economy. Is that correct, guys? No, it is not. We know the Fed printed all this money. It just wasn't cryptos that were pumping. The stock market was pumping too. And now it's time for the Fed to build the fourth industrial revolution. So guess what? They need that money back. So therefore, they can build. And then we have Jay Clayton talking about FTX. And guys, we know that he could abort in regulation, but instead, he leaves and brings a case against Ripple. So therefore, Gary Gensler, the NWO chess piece, can kick the regulation can down the road. So therefore, the casino could keep running and the NWO makes trillions. So therefore, they can build. And guys, with this FTX collapse, we know it was not in bankruptcy. That's right. The derivatives platform. And guys, we know that's the whole economy. And they're going to tokenize the whole economy and put it on blockchain. And that's going to allow the robots, algorithms, and drones to take over the economy. Pay each other with crypto, and the sheep are going inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
But I think earlier this year, they were kind of tied together because you had a lot of people who were invested in crypto. They were invested in disruptive stocks. They all were doing it on margin. So every time one sneezed, it would, drag down everything else. That got shaken out a little bit. So we're better off right now. I think the next leg of this is going to be, wow, what happens to the economy? You start looking at the amount of money that was being spent by even FTX on advertising, crypto as a whole, right? I think this is going to feed into the economy. I think the wealth effect is real, right? This time we've lost $3 trillion down to just under $1 trillion, right? There's been huge wealth effects. I think this is going to bleed into the economy. Generally, that's going to be bad. I think it's going to turn out to be good for energy usage, though.
Peter, since last time we spoke to you, I guess we saw the new CEO say never seen anything this bad, but then he tempered that a little. Maybe he realizes he's got a dog in this race at this point, and he said maybe there are some viable businesses. Maybe some people will be made whole. What do you make of all that, Jay?
Look, Joe, I think we're learning what a lot of people have been saying for a long time, which is offshore financial institutions or institutions that are purporting to be financial institutions just don't have any of the basic protections that we have here in the U.S. Customer funds are not segregated. Leverage is not regulated. The ability to engage in multiple conflicting activities is relatively unfettered. And I think that's what he saw when he got there, in addition to a lack of records and governance. If you look closely at what you're seeing around this situation, the entities that are regulated, some of the entities that are inside the United States, and some of them are not even in the bankruptcy estate, they look to be some of the most solvent and the most valuable going forward. So look, I'm sure there's value to be derived there, and you've got the right guy on the job in terms of what I would say is stabilizing the situation and then looking to either operate or liquidate or a combination of both to get the maximum value. But the real lesson here is financial entities operating outside the United States, particularly not in jurisdictions that we know well, your retail investor should stay away from them.
We still don't.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.